Hey, all right, everybody, how's it going? Now, I got a story which is good news and bad news. And I'll start off with some bad news. I've just recorded this video and I forgot to press record on the microphone. So I've got to do it all again. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right, so I got to do it all again. I got the enjoyment of doing the same thing over again. Right, let's get back to the good news and bad news. So what's the good news? So let's get the good news, then go to the bad news at the end. Okay. So the good news was there was a tweet out yesterday, and I think it was reported by Electric. Which I got in front of me by you, Electric. And it says the first non-Tesla branded V4 superchargers are being deployed. Now, if I scroll down to the tweet by you, it says it's from EV Point, and it says big news. First EV Point chargers now operational at Asda Express. I'm going to get this wrong. I can't say this place for some reason. It doesn't jive with me. So here we go. Uttoxeter, okay? Now, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'll put it in front of me by here.
Uttoxeter.
Get ultra-fast charging and enjoy amenities like Starbucks and Burger King while you wait. Woohoo! So that all sounds nice and lovely. And that is at an Asda Express. So it's not an Asda supermarket, it's an Asda Express. So that's an important point in this story. It's an Asda Express. So the Asda Express is like it was a petrol station basically with an Asda Express, sells Asda stuff in it, but it's like a small, you know, like when you go to a petrol station and there's a small place, it's an Asda Express. Okay, so if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And that's at a retail park, okay? So that's good news, fantastic news. The first V4 Tesla superchargers are out. And looking at the picture, they're branded EV Point, but you can see underneath the bare bones of it is a Tesla V4 supercharger, but it looks like they've got a cover over it with an EV Point logo on it. So, but you can tell it's sort of a Tesla sort of thing underneath. Because I was going to wonder what they were going to look like, but now I do. I should have put a picture up. I don't know if I'll get copyrighted, because the trouble is if I put pictures up of certain things, I get people copyrighting me. But it's on Twitter anyway, so right, so that was that story there, and that was good news. And then if we go back in time to November, at the beginning of November, end of October sometime, there was also a story where Asda's acquired the EG Group, is it, which is to do with EV Point, I think it is. If I'm right, I think I'm right in saying that, because I've read the story, so either I've forgotten or I'm saying it wrong. But and that story was back last year. If you cast your minds back, you'll probably remember. I think I did a video on it. And that was, somebody slammed the door outside and I was massively loud then. So you probably heard that. Because my feet shook from underneath me. I don't know why these kids got to slam the door so loud. Anyway, the front door, I mean. What was I saying? Oh yeah, right, so 20,000 EV chargers were going to be deployed through this new thing with Asda's and the EG Group EV Point, okay? And that was all across Europe, that was. It wasn't just the UK, it was all across Europe. 20,000 chargers, and I think they were all going to use the V4 chargers. So that's two good news stories. But let me just have a look on you. I've got to get it right, see, okay? So let me just go down to the bad news story. The bad news story. I've got to wait for it to load up. And here it goes. Here's the headline. It says, Asda's makes huge change in car parks as expert reveals concerns. Now, what's them concerns? Well, it said the RAC have revealed new figures showing that Asda's has cut the number of the EV charging points. Now, it says by here, Asda's were in partnership with charging company BP Pulse, okay? And it's saying by here that the BP Pulse chargers have been taken away because that partnership has ended. Now, I'm assuming that partnership ended because of the new partnership with EV Point, okay, and the EG Group. I'm assuming that must be correct, okay? Now, here's where it'll get worse. This is where it gets bad news. Because the original story, back in November, with 20,000 EV chargers being deployed, that said there was going to be in the Asda retail areas and Asda superstores. Now, the people who've got hold of the Asda story today about them removing the BP Pulse chargers say they haven't got any deal to put these V4 chargers in the superstores, and they're only at the Asda Express retail places. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. So if you do know, put in the comment section, enlighten me. So I need to know, because all these articles are saying that the one article last year says they are being in the supermarkets. Then all the articles today are saying they're not going to be in them. So who's right and who's wrong? I don't know. Now, there is an Asda's by me. It's just over by there. It's less than half a mile away. I can walk to it. And as it happens, this is a history lesson, or going back in history, I suppose. Not a history lesson as such, but it used to be, it's on the site of the old supermarket that was called Carrefour. Now, Carrefour in Caerphilly, correct me if I'm wrong, it was the first large, massive supermarket to come to the UK, Carrefour, and people came from miles and miles and miles. I remember I was a little kid at the time, going there, and I know I was something. Was it late 60s or early 70s? I can't remember exactly, but I remember going there as a kid when it was Carrefour. And why am I mentioning that? Asda's? Oh, because they haven't got any charging for EVs at all over there. They got none at all. But that site over there was Carrefour. Then it was Gateways. Then Asda's bought it from Gateways. But originally it was Carrefour, and I think it was the first big, massive supermarket in the UK. And it was a big thing. It's an article on YouTube somewhere. There's it was filmed. They were filming all the shoppers with the Welsh accents, boyo. Ooh. So that was that, and it's an Asda's near me. Another Asda's, the nearest one, is in Cardiff by Corrington Roundabout, and they've only ever had the small 7 kilowatt chargers, and they've always been out of order half the time. So that is out of order, isn't it? Anyway, so that's my waffle. That's my story. I don't know what's going on. It's good news that they got the Tesla superchargers. They've started deploying them, and Tesla's become, I suppose, they have become now an EV charging company selling to other companies. I suppose that opens the floodgates for other places to sort of buy V4 chargers from Tesla. People say they are quite reliable, the Tesla chargers, but then will the reliability still stand when other cars are using them? Because when it's only Teslas talking to them, when it's only Tesla cars using them, the chargers are talking back and forth to Tesla cars. But when we get more problems with other cars, I don't know. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ahoy!